Good, happy Tuesday evening, July 2021. I'm Riley King. Welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, Biden urges COVID-19 vaccinations as Delta threatens the U.S. economic recovery. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
So we got both at work. We started getting these notifications from Ring, and I was like,
The spread of the Delta variant is hitting the market, sending the Dow into its sharpest decline yesterday since October. Pandemic threats to the economy are a big focus of the Biden administration. Weijia Zhang reports from the White House.
We cannot afford to be complacent. We know that our economic recovery hinges on getting the pandemic under control.
President Biden urged Americans to get vaccinated as fears over another wave of COVID-19 rattled the markets on Monday. The president also tried to calm concerns about inflation.
Most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary.
In the last 12 months, consumer prices increased 5.4%, the sharpest spike since 2008. Used cars and trucks and gasoline are up by more than 45%. Airline fares are nearly 25% more expensive, and food prices are 2.4% higher.
According to President Biden himself, the solution is, listen to this, even more of the same.
Republicans used the opportunity to attack the Democrats' $3.5 trillion plan to expand health care, education, and climate programs, warning it would lead to even higher prices.
They're going to transform our economy back to where it was in the 70s, where inflation was so high, it ate away middle-class families' savings.
Economic expert Diane Swong said that is unlikely.
The good news is, as we get into 2022, we're likely to see some of these prices cool down and normalize, and that's very important as the economy sort of resets in the pandemic world.
President Biden said he recently met with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, and he made clear that the central bank should take whatever steps necessary to support a strong economic recovery. Fed officials say they do not have plans to raise interest rates anytime soon. Vlad.
Weijia Zhang at the White House. Thank you, Weijia.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Spike from Delta variant hits South Africa in wake of civil unrest. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
South Africa has had more than 2.3 million COVID cases and about 67,000 deaths, but experts warn the real figure could be 3 times higher. A fragile economy and political unrest led to deadly violence in the country earlier this month, disrupting supply chains and stretching emergency services. Now the Delta variant is causing another devastating COVID surge. Deborah Pata is at a field hospital in Johannesburg. Good morning.
Good morning. Although South Africa has stepped up its inoculation drive, those shots arrived too late to halt a rising death toll from a deadly third wave driven by the Delta variant. The incessant wailing of ambulance sirens. This is the soundtrack of a third wave raging through a largely unvaccinated country. Paramedic Mohammed Rasool has not had a day off for over 2 months.
Currently, very, very busy. Multiple call-outs every day.
How old are you? Every call-out requires urgent hospital care.
Uncle, your oxygen levels are drastically low.
But there's a line for beds. This hospital is completely overwhelmed. There are no ICU beds available. This patient is critical. They need a bed. They will either have to to wait outside or try another hospital. Tears of relief as space opens up for Rasul's patient, but more often than not, that means someone else has died. Oxygen is in desperate short supply. At least 50 canisters are delivered to this state-run hospital every day. It is not enough. And every patient Rasul collects has critically low oxygen levels. To supplement this shortage, this emergency field hospital has been set up by volunteers. Within hours of opening, it was already full.
I'm bringing the oxygen cylinder. She's very short of breath.
Dr. Fatima Lambat has been on the job non-stop for 16 months.
You're exhausted already because you haven't had a break since last year, March. And you still have to get up, go on.
She says they are seeing more severe illness and death this time round. And last week's violent insurrection in South Africa, fueled by poverty and hunger, has only made things worse. Medical warehouses were looted and critical supplies have been unable to reach their destination without a police escort.
There's a shortage of oxygen, right?
Shortage of oxygen, also shortage of bed. Put the two together, it's a complete disaster.
All this as the Delta variant outruns the vaccine.
Despite the availability of Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson vaccines, many sites were shut down last week, further hobbling inoculation efforts, and now authorities are worried that the virus could see a rise in COVID cases, putting pressure on hospitals already at breaking point.
Another area we can learn from there.
I used to dread when my daughter would take off her shoes in the car because of the dead rat smell, but after the second day of using
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. "80 wildfires in the West are burning across 13 states." Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
Turning now to the wildfires in the West, where some 80 large fires are burning across 13 states. Almost 770 square miles have been destroyed in Washington and Oregon, and more than half a dozen large fires are burning in California. The smoke is so intense in places you can actually see it from space. Jonathan Bigliotti is close to the Tamarack fire near Lake Tahoe, where overnight rain did little to slow the flames.
Southeast of Lake Tahoe, firefighters at the front lines of the Tamarack fire are not only battling the ever-growing flames, they're also being forced to contend with the impact of heavy smoke and ash.
Our efforts have been hampered for aerial resources due to the smoke conditions.
This lightning-sparked fire started on July 4th, but only started growing rapidly over the weekend.
The winds picked up. We had low humidities, low fuel moistures, and that's what caused it to really get to the size that it is now.
Meanwhile, in southern Oregon, more than 2,200 firefighters continue working to contain the so-called bootleg fire, which is now more than double the size of Chicago and one of the largest in modern Oregon history. But with the fire reaching the heights of tall trees, there's only so much that can be done from the ground.
We are seeing retardant drops and bucket work. Those things, they don't stop it. They will slow it down, but none of those things can absolutely stop a fire.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now and let's go into weather. Let's take a look at the weather this evening across the United States. And here's a look at that weather across the United States for all of you. Around here near Toronto and kind of in Albany and on the border of Vermont, you're seeing some rain showers. And then around Boston, New Hampshire, Maine, it's dry. New York and Washington and Raleigh, all dry. And then Charlotte, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, and parts of Florida, you're seeing rain showers. New Orleans, you're seeing some rain showers as well. And some sprinkle of showers in Dallas, Texas, and Texas area. And then as you move over here around Phoenix, Las Vegas, Denver, there's a big band of showers going into Canada, as you can see, all those rain showers here and some rain showers over here as well. Otherwise, the rest of the United States looks nice and dry in the middle here and parts of here as well. And that is a look at your weather across the United States for this Tuesday evening. And that is it for this Tuesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching and have a great evening. Good night, goodbye.